Hey guys, it's Nicole and I'm back, and I just want to show you our updated WorkBox system for my 4 and 6-year-old for the next couple of weeks. We're a few days into these work boxes already, but I just want to show you the things that I changed up for the next 2-week session. So if you're interested, stay tuned. Okay, so for his math workbox, we have our continuing on our primary mathematics for Singapore Math 2A. We have been doing division and multiplication review with that. That's what he's working on right now. And he is loving these memory multiplication winter edition match cards that I showed last time. We are still working on those because he really enjoyed them, so we're going to keep them in the box again. And then in this notebook, which is his math notebook, what we're doing for classical conversations is we're learning that the area of a square is side squared. So I have some examples here. I wrote down roll dice and throw a square. Roll die and throw a square with sides that are the number you rolled. Find the area. So here in the box, I have a little orange die. He will roll, and he will draw here a square that has sides that are the length of 3. And so the answer obviously will be 3 times 3, and that will be 9. And then he'll continue to roll until he does all of them. He will probably work on about 3 or 4 a day because I have about 10 here so far, and then we'll move on from there. And also another thing that I wrote down here is for fraction equivalence. He is going to be reviewing fraction equivalence. Before he was doing little fraction cards, and now we have moved on to fraction equivalence. I got this little set here from, if I can get my hands on it, this little set of fraction equivalencies cards. Pretty much what he's going to do is take these out, and I have a set of them already that I kind of already ripped apart. There's a few sets in here, but this is the set that I want him to work on for the first few days, and then I will open up another set because they're all perforated, and that they come in a few sheets of them, as you can see. So this is the one that we're working on first. So pretty much he's going to draw out 6/8, and then while he's drawing it out, he'll be able to see what 6/8 equals. 2 6, actually, that equals 1/3, but him drawing it out, he'll be able to determine that it's 1/3, and he will put 1/3 here, or write 1/3 here, so on and so forth for each one of those. So that's what he's doing for his fraction review. And he is wrapping up on this worksheet. Sometimes things dwell in the bottom of the workbox, and he didn't really get around to it, but here is just him having some refreshers in how to do math problems where you have to regroup and borrow. So he has been working on a row a day, as well as working in his workbox with multiplication and division and doing his fraction equivalencies. For language arts, he is continuing to work in his writing prompts journal. And if you want to see, this is pretty much the inside of the journal. It has a little pre-writing activity, and then it allows them to kind of plan out what they're going to write about and draw a picture about it. So he has a few that he has worked on so far. I just have him do that, and then I go ahead and correct whatever he hasn't spelled or written properly. He's continuing on with his language arts 2 for Christian light education, and he is working on dividing unlike consonants by syllable, and reviewing what he should do when he writes a book report, and working on root words and suffixes. For spelling, he just goes over his spelling that is listed in his language arts workbook here. He's been working on contractions as well, so I found these worksheets that I laminated that he's using dry erase marker on to work with. So what he will do is he's rewritten these sentences using a contraction. So obviously he's worked on that already. And then here he is reading these two words and then writing the correct contraction right up here. And then for spelling review, I just have him write the words out on this paddle. I just say out the words and we can just do a verbal review of his spelling words this way. For his classical conversations this week, I'm using this free curriculum that I've received from Ivana over at Homeschool Blessings. Thank you, Ivana. She found this, or someone delivered this to her house and asked if she can use it, and she contacted me and I arranged a way to pick it up. So he's going to be working on a couple of pages in Latin's Not So Tough. This is level 3, which is pretty much very basic, and they just go over the review of the Latin alphabet and the sounds that these letters make in the Latin alphabet, because Y has several sounds and certain letters have several sounds in Latin. So he's going to go over that, and he's going to begin some Latin vocabulary, which I'm excited about. For classical conversations this week, we're talking about the Aztecs. So I got a library book about the Aztecs' life in Tenochtitlan. So he's going to read that. We have, we're still talking about volcanoes. We were talking about different parts of volcanoes. So we're talking about what is a volcanologist and what do they do. And then he is almost done with his notebook his lap book about the book Hill of Fire. So he has been assembling it and answering questions and doing all kinds of really cool things with this. So this has been a really cool little activity for him to work on a little bit every couple of days. Drawing pictures of active, intermittent, dormant, and extinct volcanoes. Signs that a volcano is going to erupt, and volcano facts and things of that nature. So this has been fun to work on. And here's some other parts of it that he has to add to it. And here, just for review, I just have his classical conversation cycle 2 cards here that we go through and just review briefly. And that's it for his classical conversations workbox this week. In his elective drawer, our electives are always the same. It's Bible, social studies. I have this YouTube for him to just go on and have pre-made playlists that relate to social studies or Bible or STEM that he can watch. So whenever I put this on top of everything that's in his box, he knows that he's supposed to ask me what he needs to watch on YouTube. And then I have this STEM challenge page, and whenever that's on top, he knows that he needs to work on a STEM challenge. I will link in the description box below the link to the video where I talk about my DIY STEM challenge kit that they work on every week. So pretty much I get a lot of questions about these. He's been ordering the books of the Bible in the Old Testament, and he's almost done, so we'll be moving on to New Testament next time around. These were given to me by my mother-in-law. She actually made these and laminated them and everything for a class that she taught in our church a few years ago, and she kind of held on to them until the right time to give them back to me so my kids can use them. And what's awesome is that he can order them on the ground, but they also have Velcro on the back, so if I wanted to create a poster board and place some Velcro strips on it, he can actually order them that way as well. So eventually I plan on just making a wall where he can just have all of his Bible books so that they can play around and put them in the proper order and things like that. So this is what's in his elective box for this week. And finally, in his reading workbox this week, he's working on another boxcar children book called The Woodshed Mystery, and he will be mapping the story and doing other things as he goes through the book. Every few chapters or every couple of chapters, he will go ahead and complete an activity in the Lakeshore Learning Readers book log, which I love. It's so cute because it also has a chart in the back where he can document all the books that he has read, as well as place stickers and check off the genre of the book and everything like that. So I really, and put the date where he read it and everything. So I really like this book, and it really just helps him to really pay attention to the important details of whatever he's reading. And for my 4-year-old's workboxes, first up we have the math workbox, and he still has his Kumon mind numbers 1 through 120, which he loves. He loves doing these activities. He does these little dot to dots, and he likes to color them in. So here's 51 to 100 in order, and he did 11 to 60 in order one day. And what's this? It's a tiger that he did. What is this? 21 to 70. So he's having a good time with these, so he really loves those. This activity, this worksheet is called Domino Scoot, and I laminated. I like laminating things because it becomes a dry erase surface, and then I can keep it from my next son for next year or the year after. But pretty much these miniature dominoes are from the Dollar Tree, and what I did was just I would have him pick out one, and he would put it here in each one of these, and then we would go over. Okay, so say he put this one here, it would be 1 plus 4, so he would write 1 plus 4 equals, and then he'd count it up, and then he would flip it. He would say 4 plus 1 also equals 5, just so that he can understand that whatever it is, front or back, left or right, it's still the same answer. So he has been working on that. And also, he has his kindergarten mathematics early bird for Singapore math. I intend on doing a video talking about our mid-year review, kind of. It's a little bit more over our mid-year review, but just talking about curriculum that worked for us and didn't work for us, or that were okay and why we had some issues with them. But I found that for him, this early bird kindergarten mathematics book was way too simple. And I'm not saying that as though it's a big deal or he's above average or what have you. He's 4, and I thought that maybe this would be a little bit more of a challenge because it's a kindergarten level and not pre-K level. But these things were very simple things like which one is greater, identifying shapes and counting and things like that, that honestly I feel as if this probably would have been a better fit for his 3-year-old brother. And I was told that Singapore early bird is very easy, and then it starts off slow, and then it takes off pretty much around first 1A, 1B, it just goes fast. So that's just my my critique on this, is that it's extremely simple compared to what 1B and 1A are. So pretty much we just do this for fun. It's just a cute little thing to do because a lot of it is cut and paste activities, and in the back it has little things that he has to cut out and use and paste for his activities. So it's just a little fun thing that we do. So pretty much he also has this in his workbox as well. And we are still continuing on with his counting by 2s up to 100 and ordering the little snowman. So that's kind of something that's just going to stay in there until he kind of just grasps the whole concept of counting by 2s. In his orange or language arts workbox, we still have his handwriting without tears that he's working on. They're beginning to spell words. So old, will, gate, Leo was lost, out, us, cut, Gus, got, out, things like that. So that's what he's been working on here. We also have this sight words bingo that we are doing. This is a printable from a while ago, and what I'm going to do is simply call out a variety of sight words for review, and he will cover them with these little bingo chips here. And these are words that he has seen before, so this is pretty much just review. We're doing a lot of sight words review before we move on to our next level for our adult sight words. Again, we have these sticky, slinky, snake, stretchy snake words where pretty much you pull them out. Map. So a few of those in here for 3-letter words. We also have this. He's doing ought words this week where he'll just check them off as we read them out. So this is a great printable by My 3 Dinosaurs for learning word families. And another review, we have a file folder review game, which we'll be working on. There's an egg flip game that pretty much I give him a spatula and I flip these top side up, and if he gets it right, if he reads it properly, he can flip them over. So these are really fun to do as a review. And then he has this bubble gum activity. This is a file folder I made last year. He actually started working on it last year, but now it's pretty much just a review of all the sight words that he knows. So this is another sight words review activity that we'll be doing until we so we can review, see what he might not know, and then we'll move on to the next level of his Dolch sight words. The green workbox, this is classical conversation workbox, and we are talking about volcanoes, as I mentioned, with his older brother. But with him, what we're going to be doing is talking about the parts of a volcano. Last time we did the same thing with the active, intermittent, and dormant volcano. So this is his interpretation, and here's mine. So it was really fun to just sit down and draw with him, and I think that's just what the same thing I'm going to do this time, is that we're going to be doing parts of a volcano, and I will draw alongside with him the magma, the vents, lava, crater, and gases. So we'll focus on this for classical conversations for him for this week for science. For his elective workbox, we're going to be focusing on geography probably until the end of the school year. This is U.S. geography, and we're going to be learning all of the states of the United States. And I got this printable off of JDA's Teacher Pay Teachers account or site on Teachers Pay Teachers. Really great printable. I highly recommend it. Pretty much what I did was, as instructed in this packet, you pretty much have each region. So we're starting with the Northeast, so that's what we're going to be working on. And what I did was I just laminated it, and I put these little Velcro tabs on here. They're clear Velcro tabs, so you can't really see it, but it's there. And what he's going to do is he's going to simply match up the state and capital by placing them on top. So this one is not actually the right one for this. It's this one. Let me show you. So pretty much he's just going to match them, which is very simple because you just match them by color. Oh, this one came off. But pretty much you just match them up by color, so on and so forth. And he'll do that, and as he matches them, I'll say, oh, this is Maine, this is New Hampshire, this is Vermont, this is Massachusetts, this is Connecticut, Jersey, Pennsylvania, New York. And then we'll do that every few days for a couple of weeks, and eventually we will move on to him coloring the states by name. So I will ask him what the name of the state is, and there's also a color coded sheet here, like a color by state. And I have some dry erase crayons here that have been through a lot, but this is what's left. And pretty much he'll color each one. And where's Maine? And he'll point to Maine, and then he will color in Maine red. Maine is red, New Hampshire is yellow, Vermont purple, so on and so forth. So that's what he's going to be working on for his elective, is geography. And I also have this United States activity atlas that goes into more detail about some of the states. So what I will do is just go over the states that are in the Northeast with him. And I really like this little thing. It comes with a dry erase marker as well here, and that it just talks about each state. Iowa is the 29th state. Find out what the state flower is by crossing out the letters in the green boxes. So it's just really cute. It gives like cute little facts and details about the state's flag, the state's flower, what the state's known for, things like that. And then I also have some fire safety information in here. A couple of weeks back, they visited and toured a fire station. So these are some of the resources that we received. So this is just something fun for him to do. Things like remembering to stop, drop, and roll. The importance of being next to a window whenever, if you ever find yourself trapped in a burning house, stay by the window because that's where the firefighter will come and find you. And how to stay low under the smoke. Very critical things that kids need to know just in case they are in a fire. And finally, we are continuing on in Teach Your Child How to Read in 100 Easy Lessons. We are on lesson 56 now. We are trudging along very slowly, but we are getting there. I'm finding that it's been very difficult to try to keep his interest in this, and I really want to move on. But I'm the kind of person that I feel like I need to just finish something if I start it. So I'm actually going to be looking up for All About Reading. I want to order that program, and then we can work on that during the summer and into his kindergarten school year. because I'm looking for something that's a little bit more interesting and hands-on. And Teach Your Child How to Read 100 Easy Lessons, even though it does work, it's tedious, especially for a kid that just wants to get up and move and is kind of tired of the plain black and white text. So it's difficult. So pretty much I have a few Bob, what are these? I have a couple of Bob books, and I have a few Dick and Jane books in here that has several stories in it. So we just go through one story before we actually jump into his Teach Your Child How to Read 100 Easy Lessons lesson. Okay, guys, so I hope you enjoyed our workbox video for the next couple of weeks for my 4-year-old and 6-year-old. Thank you for being patient with me, as I was very late with this section's upload for this video. And it's that time of the year. I'm sick some days, my husband's sick, my kids are sick. It's just that time of the winter where we're just ready for spring, so I'm kind of dragging my feet, but we are pressing on to the finish. So thank you again for your patience, and I hope you guys have a great week. Bye.